Alright, how you guys doing? Coming at y'all with another video. So I'm gonna make I think about probably 2 or so videos tonight, talking about different things. But in this video we're gonna discuss some of the rumors that you hear behind Walmart drivers or about Walmart drivers. So without further ado, I'm going to just kind of hop into it. I've heard one rumor before. Someone pumps our fuel for us. That's not true. We pump our own fuel, point blank period. There's no two ways about it. We pump our own fuel. If I'm not mistaken, I think that rumor comes from, I guess, sometime in the past. Sometime in the past, we had attendants that would pump our fuel for us. However, it's not a thing anymore. So no, we pump our own fuel. We don't work weekends. That's actually not true. We do indeed work weekends. I work the weekend. My out day is Thursday and my go home day is a Monday. So I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You actually get a pay differential on the weekend. So all the miles that you drive on the weekend, you actually get to make more off of that. So yeah, I like driving on the weekend. I know I don't have any issue with it. I like the pay. I like the extra pay. It's only a 7 cent per mile raise, but it makes a significant difference. We don't drive at night. That's not true at all. I know out of my DC, we have different end times. So your end time and your gate time are two different things. So you might have a 7 o'clock end time, which basically means you need to be on duty, on duty pre-tripping, doing whatever it is you got to do for the onset of your trip, the day that you launch out from the home. And of course, I'm sure there's extenuating circumstances where something happens and you don't exactly come in at your end time, but end times at my DC are 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. So if you're in 7 a.m. end time, then you need to be on duty no later than 7. And if you're 9 a.m., which I chose to be a 9 a.m. end time, you're on duty no later than 9 a.m. I usually am on duty by about 8:15, 8:20, pre-tripping, loading the truck, doing all the stuff I gotta do. But anyway, we don't drive at night. The purpose of me saying that is all you truckers know we have a 14-hour clock. So if you are a 7 a.m. end time, let's say you hypothetically start at 7 o'clock in the morning, you should be off duty by 9 p.m. And for me, if you're in at 9 o'clock in the morning, theoretically speaking, you should be off by 11 p.m. Now, yeah, you can work a full 14. However, depending on how your schedule runs, the time you're out, sometimes you might, I recently started one time at like 11 o'clock in the morning. That was the time I got an assignment. So I ended up starting my clock at like 11 o'clock in the morning and didn't finish till about midnight 30. So yeah, that's definitely well into the night. Not to mention our refrigerated guys. You typically see, yes, Walmart has refrigerated trailers. That's another thing I should discuss. I'll actually discuss that after this. So our refrigerated guys, like when I end up working out of the DC, out of Mebane, North Carolina, I'm sure you guys see the picture of the family in the background, by the way. So yeah, I don't think I've ever on my channel actually showed you guys my family, but if y'all want to zoom in at some point, that's all of us. That's me, Janisha, me holding Ray J. There's JJ in the yellow next to me, and then that's Miranda over there by Janisha. I don't think I've ever showed my family on the channel, which is very weird. I know I've done a video with me and Janisha, but I don't think I've ever showed. Actually, I don't even think she showed her face in the video. Huh. Not that I'm hiding my family. I guess just never happened. I'll make a video and include them in it at some point. Anyway, stay on topic, Raven. So, do we drive at night? Yes. Especially like sometimes when I end up over at Mebane, North Carolina, out of the DC over there, running a refrigerated trailer for like 2 or 3 days, running nights. I've ended up like I ended up killing my clock early one day so I could start at like 6 p.m. and I ran at night. Now, how does that affect us? So, being that stores are not 24 hours anymore, stores are not 24 hours to you guys. So, for guys like me, or anybody that's in a refrigerator that has to deliver at a store late at night, that's actually a live unload, you'll have people in most of the stores working at night to live unload the trailer. So we'll get there. We can get a little radio to actually contact them on the radio. We also have direct numbers to the store that we can call for after hours for somebody to come unload us. And also they know when we're supposed to get there. Like they know like, hey, we're supposed to be expecting a truck at like 1 o'clock in the morning, the meat and, the frozen dairy or the meat and produce truck. Like we're expecting them at 1 o'clock in the morning. So whenever we get there, like they typically know. And when you bump the dock, they hear when you bump the dock if someone's in the back. It can be a little bit annoying because sometimes it's hard as hell to get somebody to open the door or even know that you're there because they just get preoccupied restocking the shelves for the next day. It happens, but whatever. So that brings me to the other point that popped in my mind. People apparently out there think Walmart does not do flatbed or we have an entire flatbed division. Both are not true. We do flatbed, but we do not have an entire flatbed division. Flatbed is seasonal. So, I mean, yes, it runs year round, but there are some seasons where obviously it's going to be like all the time there's flatbed freight, and then when it's not really in season, the loads will pop up every so often for a flatbed load. When it comes to doing flatbed, you have to volunteer for it, and I think they put you through some kind of course for it. And if I'm also not mistaken, when you're doing flatbed, you get paid your ADP, which is your average daily pay. You don't get paid you just get paid your ADP, which is not bad if your ADP is high. Right now, I'm still working on mine because I am relatively new. Actually, my ADP is like right at $300, which is pretty fucking good. Considering I've only been here for a few months, my ADP has gone up considerably because I run hard. I really do. I work hard. So, no, we do not have a flatbed division, but yes, we do flatbed. Let's see. Let's talk about the next rumor. Sorry, I wrote a list down. Do we sleep in our trucks? Oh, excuse me. Do we get paid to sleep in our trucks? That is not a rumor. That is actually true. Yes, we get paid to sleep in our trucks. The pay rate is $42 a night to sleep in a truck. Not bad. Here's another one people love to talk about. So I want to go ahead and kill this rumor right now. There's a rumor that we cannot talk on our phones in the truck. That is not true. While you are on the drive line, you are allowed 6 10-minute phone calls a day. But while you're on duty or doing anything else, you can be on the phone till the cows come home. So with that being said, people look at that as that's a huge not selling point for Walmart. You have to realize that we're not out driving ridiculous distances like an over-the-road driver. So people like to equate it to their everyday life, like being over the road. God, every single day for my 5 days at work, I'm driving 600 miles a day and I can't talk on the phone. That sucks. We're not driving like that. Like, I could be on the phone talking to Janisha in the morning when I come into work. I'll talk to her on my way into the office. I'll get my first assignment. My first assignment could be me picking up at a store, picking up a loaded trailer on the yard and going to a store that's 45 miles down the road. And then I'll be like a live unload at like 3 separate stores. Like it could be 2 neighborhood markets and 1 super center. And it's all like the first store is like 45 miles away. And the next 2 stores are like 7 miles away and then 2 miles from there. So Yeah, I'll be like, all right, sweetheart, well, I'm about to start my day. I'll call you when I get to my first store. Literally hook up to my trailer, pre-trip the trailer, do my paperwork, do what I gotta do, hit the gate, and I'm at the store in like an hour. Okay, so I get off the phone, back into the dock, get everything set up. They finally start unloading my trailer. I can hop back on the phone and talk to Janisha while they're unloading like the cargo from the trailer. Congratulations, you just went an hour and 15 minutes without talking to your significant other. And that's really how your day goes. And then you might get something where after you finish that, you got to drive back to the yard. It's like 50 minutes back to the yard. Then you go on duty, you're grabbing your trailer. Okay, you grab your trailer, you're sitting on duty doing your paperwork. You can call your whoever you want to call and talk on the phone while you're doing your paperwork. It's not that bad. And then after that, you might get a store that's like 120 miles away. So keep in mind, you've talked on the phone while you're on duty doing all your stuff, but you haven't used you haven't used one of your 6 10-minute phone calls. So let's say I have to drive like 130 miles to get to my vendor that I'm picking up at. Okay, so let's say I decide to talk to Janisha. I'll talk to her for like, I'll probably talk for about 8.5, 9 minutes and 30 seconds at most. And then what I'll do is, like, all right, I'll call you back in a little bit, hang up the phone, drive down the road for a little bit, might end up calling my dad or something, talking to him for under 10 minutes, get off the phone. By that time, I'm at my vendor. So you're not driving ridiculous distances. If you honestly ask me, you do a lot of stops in a day. You're going to do a lot of drop and hooks. You're going to do live unloads. You're going to do stuff that's keeping you on duty instead of just driving. Every single day, your 14 is going to catch your 11, and you're going to run your 14 out. But I think I've only had 2 days so far where my 11 ran out before my 14. And I was like cramming in work like a motherfucker in that 3 hour gap. And then I end up getting lucky and getting like one long ass run where it's just like, actually, this past week, I was doing a bunch of stuff around the Charlotte and Concord, North Carolina area. It was all drops and hooks. And then I hit Concord, North Carolina, and they're like, all right, you're getting this loaded trailer and you're heading up to Mount Crawford, Virginia. And that was a 300-mile drive. Yeah. Okay. So keep in mind, I still have 6 10-minute phone calls. So I just spread out those 6 10-minute phone calls throughout that 300 miles. And I finished, like, that was one of the few times where my 11 ran out before my 14. It is what it is. So yes, there's a phone policy, but it is not that big a thing. You can talk on your phone. That myth that you can't talk on the phone is not true. However, there are guidelines for you being able to talk on your phone. So this list kind of wasn't in order, but since I talked about that, I'm going to skip down to something else that I wrote down that we need to talk about. People want to know about, can Walmart check your phone records? Yes, they can. When you're first going through everything, you actually sign a piece of paper saying that you allow Walmart to do it, and it writes out, like, it specifies all the guidelines and whatnot. Okay, we're going to dispel this whole rumor right now. Something has to happen in order for them to check your phone. It's not like you just walk into the office one day and they're just like, hey, go ahead and hand over your phone, hero, we're going to check your records. Like, no, that's not what happens. You have to have an accident or an incident or something that happens where they need to make sure that you are on the phone being distracted at the time of the incident. And that's how that is. You're not just going to have your phone checked just because, whoever's working in the safety department woke up and said, you know what? We're checking Raymond's phone today. Like, that's not how that works. Also, on top of that, I need to go back to the whole phone thing real quick. You can talk on your phone. You get 6 10-minute phone calls a day while on the drive line. I don't know specifically each individual thing, but basically if you're doing stuff that requires your undivided attention, I tread carefully when I say use common sense, because there's people out there who just, common sense is just not that common. But I would assume that if you're going to be a truck driver and you're looking towards Walmart, you should have a pretty decent level of common sense if you think you're going to apply to Walmart and get hired and drive for them. So I wanted to say to you guys, use common sense. You might have all 60 or 10-minute phone calls left, but if you're driving and it starts raining, or you run into traffic, or you go into a construction zone, something that's out of the ordinary on the road, chances are that's probably one of those times where you shouldn't be on your phone talking. It is what it is. Use common sense. And that's all I can really say about that. I don't know everything off the top of my head for what falls under that list of just when you shouldn't be on the phone. But you drivers, you adults, you've made it. If you even have a record clean enough to drive for Walmart, you should honestly understand the concept that there's a good time and a bad time to be on the phone. So common sense should be something that you have if you're thinking about applying to Walmart. And if you fall into that category of having common sense, you know when you should and should not be on the phone. Point blank, period. Let's see. So covered that. Do we hot seat trucks? Yes, we do. That's another point that people talk about that they actually don't like about Walmart. That being said, you have to get out of the thought process that you're an over-the-road driver. Because when you think about it, I got to pack my truck up on, let's say I come on a Monday, I have to pack up my truck on a Monday and unpack it on a Friday. I'm unpacking my truck twice a week. That sounds like hell. You're not an over-the-road driver. You're gone from home for 4 days, and you even go home on your 5th day. You're not bringing nearly as much stuff as you would while you're over the road. To put it to you in a more relatable term or more relatable ways, I've timed myself taking the stuff out of my car and putting it in the truck. It's taken me 8.5 minutes. So to put it in a more trucker thought process way, it takes me less time to pack up my truck than it does to fuel the truck from empty. That should give you a good perspective. It takes me less time to literally take the stuff out of my car and put it in the truck and get it set up for my week than it does take you to fuel your truck from an empty level. And you know how fast that is. Pull up to the pump, swipe your cards, swipe your pilot card. It's going to ask you 1,000,001 questions. Then you go ahead and pump your fuel. And then, yeah, gives you enough time to literally usually about the time it takes you to check your engine compartment, the fuel island, do a walk around of your truck. Usually one of your pumps is already clicking saying it's full. You guys know how long it takes to fuel your truck. It takes less time to put the stuff from my car to the truck, and that's it. Not to mention some of the stuff I bring it's just a personal luxury for myself. It's not even a necessity for me to have to be able to do it at work or, successfully do my job, I should say. So we do hot seat trucks, but it's not that bad. We also have a cleaning list. So we do have to clean the trucks before we turn them back in. But once again, you're in the truck for 4 days. You go home on the 5th day. How bad are you really fucking up a truck in 4 days? You shouldn't be messing up in 4 days. On top of that, there's certain things you have to do to keep it clean. It has to meet a certain level. So I have not run into an issue where I've had an unclean truck. Literally, I usually get in these trucks and they're so clean you can eat off the floor if you wanted to. Not going to, but you could. So, yeah. I'm going to go from there. Yes, we hot seat trucks. It is not that bad. It truly isn't. So yeah. Oh, also, I didn't write this down, but I'll talk about it. We do hot seat trucks, but after a certain period of time, you actually can get an assigned truck. So I don't know what the prerequisites are to get an assigned truck, but it is possible to actually end up getting an assigned truck to where every single week you'll come into your own truck. So, yeah. That's good to know. Another one, Walmart is incredibly unreasonably next level strict. Maybe my view on opinion on this might change after being here for a year or two. I don't know. I can say as of right now, I don't feel like they're strict. I think what makes people say Walmart is incredibly strict is that Walmart is upfront with the things that they allow and the things they don't allow. And I feel like that makes people think they're strict. But on the same hand, from my experience with driving between rail and ATS, Walmart won't fire you for something any other trucking company wouldn't fire you for. Case in point, let's say you're on your phone and you get distracted and you get busted for texting and driving for whatever reason, or they catch you on your phone. Walmart is upfront with, yeah, that's an instant termination. Okay, but how many other trucking companies would fire you for getting busted on the camera in the truck for texting and driving or using the phone and driving? Like literally, they'll fire you for that. You guys already know, like my brother got fired from rail for it. Rail didn't put it out there from the get-go, but he got fired for it. Walmart's not going to fire you for some shit that no other company would. They have their particular ways they want you to do stuff, but that doesn't make them strict. To be honest, I come to work, I drive the same way I've always driven since I've got my CDL. Safe and compliant. Like literally nobody says shit. Like nobody, like really Walmart is not on you like that. Maybe somebody else might say differently in their channel. I don't know. From my experience for the past 4 months here, when I'm telling you literally, like I get left alone, nobody says shit to me. Like I come to work, I get my assignments. You set your own ETAs. So how are you even late to an ETA that you set? You set your own ETAs to get to places and handle your business. Like come on now. As long as you don't set off the camera, which is basically drive safe. And if you do set off the camera, they can look at it just like any other trucking company and see like, hey, let's say a car cut in front of you and you had to hit your brakes. Okay, cool. It goes across, they're going to see that a car cut in front of you and you had to hit your brakes. Like, it's not like, oh, a car cut in front of you. Well, you shouldn't have been driving that truck in the first place. Terminated. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Something has to happen for them to actually, hey, come on to the office. We're going to have a little chat trip real quick. Like, come on now. So Walmart, I don't think Walmart is strict. I think they're just very upfront with what they want and what they don't want, what they're looking for and what they're not looking for. And I think that makes people think they're strict or unreasonably strict. When in my opinion, I don't think it does. Cross that off the list. Do you have to have 3 years experience? Not technically 3 years. It's 30 months, which is 2.5 years. And they also require that you get your hazmat endorsement within, I think, don't hold me to it. I think it's your first 120 days of employment. I just had mine beforehand. It just makes it so much smoother and easier. So 30 months, have to have hazmat and a clean record. So here's another one. Do we fuel at truck stops? Do we sleep at truck stops? Can we take showers at truck stops? Do we do anything at truck stops? So if you guys are drivers already, you probably already noticed that you very rarely see Walmart truck drivers at truck stops. Somebody asked me, do they encourage you guys not to do it? I have not been told yay or nay, like you better sleep at a DC or you can't sleep at a truck stop. I've never had that happen. With that being said, you have to understand that all the stuff that comes with being a truck driver sometimes, an over-the-road driver. This is where the parallels kind of come between being a Walmart driver and an over-the-road driver. Sometimes you get to a truck stop, let's say you're stopping late at night, that shit is full. Now you gotta fight to get into a spot. You gotta back the trailer into a tight ass spot. You can't hit anybody. You don't want anybody hitting you even after you get into a spot. Wanting a shower, a clean shower. wanting food, all the things that you would want from a truck stop, you know, everything. You have to understand that we face that same struggle, but what Walmart allows us to do is we can sleep at any DC for us. We can sleep at 99% of stores and 99% of Sam's Clubs. So that being said, if we are allowed to do it, but you're not, or most of the time they say you're not, but you guys know that you'll see other truck drivers like pull up in a Walmart parking lot and sleep there anyway. But it's whatever, it's hit or miss. But typically you can roll into a Walmart at 24/7 and find some kind of way to finagle your truck into there and find a spot to stop and take your 10. That being said, we're allowed to do that. It's our stores. So it's a matter of convenience and ease. Would you rather go to the truck stop and fight to get into a spot where you hopefully don't bump into someone? Or do you want to sleep at a store where, hey, sometimes they'll recognize that you're out there, and they might have a security guard or somebody at the front door. Somebody checks pretty often. If you go to the front door in the middle of the night, they see you're a Walmart employee, they'll just let you in and use the restroom. You can buy food. You can do whatever it is you need to do from the store. Fight to get into a truck stop or go to a store. Consequently, it's also the same thing with going to a DC. A DC. DCs have a 100% guaranteed parking spot for Walmart drivers. You work for the company, you're allowed to park there. You have the ability to get food at some DCs. You can get a shower, guaranteed parking spot. There's a very, very infinitesimally small chance that you're going to get hit by another Walmart driver at the store. So you don't have to worry about your truck getting hit. You can have access to amenities, all kind of stuff at the DC that you don't have at a truck stop. Clean showers. You always have a shower, and I've never had to wait for a shower. Typically you go to a DC and there's like 5 or 6 showers, and there's not usually 5 or 6 people in the line in front of you. There's usually not 5 or 6 people in there showering all at the same time either. And the ones that do shower, they're like in and out in like 20 or so minutes. So there's that. It's a matter of amenities and whatnot that the DCs and stores offer versus a truck stop. Now, that being said, I think I stop at a truck stop probably about 50% of the time. On my 4 nights out on the road, I'll probably spend 2 of those nights at a truck stop and 2 of those nights at a store or a DC, simply just because of how I run my clock and how I run myself. I've tried to fuel at DCs as much as possible. I think I've only fueled at a truck stop maybe like twice since I've started. Every other time is at a distribution center. And the reason being is I'm pretty sure, I would like to believe, just like owner-operators and whatnot get certain kind of discounts from truck stops for getting fuel and versus cash, or companies get discounts for fueling only at Pilot or whatever, like Love's or Pilot, kind of like Rail did. I'm sure Walmart has whatever tanker company that comes and fuels their fuel island and gives the DCs fuel. They have some kind of agreement with them where they get a slightly lower rate because, hey, we're going to be your customer or one of your big customers. So we'll exclusively do business with you if we get a big markdown. So I'm willing to bet money they do that with their fuel. So why would they do this where it's we'll pay, hypothetically speaking, we'll pay $1.75 for a gallon of fuel, even though everybody else at your place on the road might pay $2.95. Clearly, they're going to want you to spend the $1.75. Use the fuel that's $1.75 instead of spending $1.75 for X number of gallons of fuel, and you still go somewhere else and pay for $2.95. Obviously, they're going to want you to use the $1.75. So, moral of the story: fuel at the DCs if possible. But sometimes there's extenuating circumstances where you end up at a regular truck stop. It's whatever, it is what it is. They know it happens. They don't care. point blank period. Like, now I'm sure if you're fueling at a truck stop every single day, they're gonna probably ask, well, one, why are you burning through so much fuel? And two, why aren't you fueling at DCs? Because you're gonna hit a DC usually every day. Even if you don't stay at one, you're gonna at least drive through one every day. Typically speaking, just damn near every day you're gonna drive through a DC and at least have the ability to get fuel at one. So you really don't have there's no reason why you should go to a truck stop and need to get fuel. But like I said, I've had it happen where it's literally just extenuating circumstances where you had to get fuel at a truck stop. It's whatever, no big deal. So this is a video talking about some of the rumors and myths about Walmart. I kind of want to talk about them and put them out there and try to dispel the myths, but also, you know, make it to where people understand that it's not a bad place to work. A lot of people have all these rumors and thoughts of how they think it is, and it's really not. It's not the way people think it is. I got hired here and went there with some of these thoughts on some of the rumors and stuff, and had my own thought of how it was going to be. And some of it, yes, in a good way. So it like when it comes to pay, yeah, the pay lived up to them. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, Walmart undersells itself and overachieves when it comes to pay. Like, the pay is good. If you Google like Walmart drivers, how much do Walmart drivers make a year, and it's like 87.5 or 86.5 or something like that, you're going to make more than that easily. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns, gripes, have any more rumors that I did not cover in this video, feel free to drop them in the comment section and I will address them. I'll do the best I can to keep up with them. Sometimes YouTube will let me know when somebody comments on the video, and then sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'll go back and watch my own videos and I notice like, hey, somebody commented like a month ago. I never received a notification, and I did not like or heart, because I always go back and like and heart somebody's comment and answer it usually if it's a question. So it doesn't always let me know, but if you guys have any, you know, heard of any other rumors or just have a question about something and you need it to be covered, rumor related, drop it down in the comment section of this video and I will address it. Anyway, as always, like, comment, subscribe. You guys have a great night, and I'll catch y'all in another video.